A legume exists that delivers all 9 essential amino acids in a single seed, yet it does not appear in a single development agenda. The Bambara groundnut defies the fundamental lie of modern agriculture. We are told that complete proteins come from animals or expensive superfoods shipped across oceans. This African pulse contains methionine, lysine, and tryptophan in ratios that rival quinoa. It survives drought conditions that kill soybeans. It fixes nitrogen in depleted soils without fertilizer. It produces yields in regions where maize and wheat collapse under heat stress. Yet the World Bank has funded 0 large-scale projects for its cultivation. The silence is not accidental. This crop threatens the export model that keeps nations dependent on grain imports. Vigna subterranea offers complete nutrition, climate resilience, and soil regeneration in a single planting. The system cannot monetize self-sufficiency. Laboratory analysis reveals a composition that dismantles nutritional hierarchies. Bambara groundnut seeds contain 63% carbohydrate, 19% protein, and 6.5% fat. The protein profile is extraordinary. It contains all 9 essential amino acids that the human body cannot synthesize. Compare this to rice, which lacks lysine. Compare this to wheat, which lacks lysine and threonine. Even celebrated pulses like lentils require combination with grains to form complete proteins. Bambara delivers completeness from soil to plate without supplementation. The amino acid scores approach those of animal products. Methionine levels reach 1.6 grams per 100 grams of protein. This single fact invalidates decades of development policy that prioritized livestock over pulses. The data existed since the 1970s, yet policy remained unchanged. Agricultural economists categorize Bambara groundnut as a subsistence crop. The classification is deliberate erasure. Across sub-Saharan Africa, women cultivate this pulse in intercropped systems that stabilize family nutrition during lean seasons. But subsistence crops generate no export revenue. They do not require imported inputs. They circulate outside the commodity markets that international institutions measure as economic progress. The United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization identifies Bambara as neglected and underutilized. Neglected by whom? Not by the millions of smallholder farmers who rely on its drought tolerance and nutritional density. Neglected by the funding mechanisms that prioritize maize hybrids requiring irrigation, pesticides, and debt. When women grow food that feeds communities without external inputs, the global economy labels it worthless. The protein content does not change based on who plants it. Bambara groundnut evolved in the semi-arid regions of West Africa. Its root system penetrates deep into subsoil layers, accessing moisture unavailable to shallow-rooted annuals. Field trials in Botswana demonstrate continued pod development with rainfall below 300 millimeters annually. Soybeans require 450 to 700 millimeters. Maize requires 500 to 800 millimeters. Climate models predict increasing drought frequency across Africa, South Asia, and Mediterranean regions. The World Bank invests billions in drought-resistant maize varieties that still require supplemental irrigation. Bambara produces protein without irrigation infrastructure. It flowers and sets pods during the dry season. The biological mechanism involves abscisic acid regulation that closes stomata to prevent water loss. No genetic modification required. Evolution designed the resilience. Industry ignores it because patents cannot be filed on wild adaptation. Every Bambara plant hosts rhizobium bacteria in root nodules. These bacteria convert atmospheric nitrogen into ammonia that fertilizes the soil. Farmers who intercrop Bambara with cereals measure yield increases of 20 to 40% in subsequent seasons. The nitrogen fixation eliminates the need for synthetic fertilizers. Fertilizer costs represent 30 to 50% of input expenses for African smallholders. Removing that cost transforms household economics. Yet development agencies promote fertilizer subsidy programs that lock farmers into annual debt cycles. Bambara breaks the cycle. It rebuilds soil organic matter while producing food. The dual benefit of nutrition and soil fertility makes it incompatible with industrial monoculture logic. A crop that eliminates input dependencies does not generate profits for agrochemical corporations. The exclusion from development funding reflects corporate capture of agricultural policy. Soybean production dominates global pulse agriculture. The United States, Brazil, and Argentina control 82% of world soy exports. Soy requires flat, mechanizable land. Bambara thrives on marginal soils unsuitable for mechanized cultivation. Soy depletes soil nitrogen. Bambara enriches it. Soy cultivation drives deforestation across the Amazon. Bambara integrates into agroforestry systems. The nutritional comparison is equally striking. Both contain complete proteins, but Bambara achieves this without genetic modification. 94% of global soybean acreage is now genetically modified. Bambara remains a landrace crop saved and selected by farmers for millennia. The choice is not between two legumes. The choice is between corporate control and farmer sovereignty. The Consultative Group on International Agricultural Research operates 15 research centers globally. Their combined annual budget exceeds $850 million. Not one center prioritizes Bambara groundnut breeding. The International Crops Research Institute for the Semi-Arid Tropics lists it as a minor crop. Minor by what metric? It feeds millions across 26 African countries. The crop receives less than 0.1% of legume research funding. Meanwhile, chickpea improvement programs receive 40 times more investment despite narrower climate adaptation. Funding priorities reveal ideological commitments. Chickpeas integrate into export markets. Bambara circulates locally. The research gap is not scientific, it is economic. Institutions fund crops that generate tradable commodities, not resilient food systems. Cultivation requires no specialized knowledge. Seeds are planted 5 to 10 centimeters deep after the first rains. Spacing of 20 by 20 centimeters allows intercropping with maize, sorghum, or cassava. The plant grows as a semi-erect bush or spreading ground cover depending on variety. Flowering begins 40 to 50 days after planting. Pods develop underground, similar to peanuts. Harvest occurs 90 to 150 days after planting when leaves begin to yellow. Yields range from 800 to 1,500 kilograms per hectare without inputs. Seeds stored in dry conditions remain viable for 3 years. No cold chain required. No processing infrastructure required. The simplicity is revolutionary in regions where supply chains determine who eats. Fresh pods can be boiled like edamame, the texture firm and nutty. Dried seeds become the foundation for stews that sustained empires. Roasting transforms them into snacks with flavors ranging from earthy to sweet depending on variety. In West Africa, Bambara flour thickens soups and creates porridges that anchor morning meals. The protein density makes small portions satiating. Fermentation produces tempeh-like products with probiotics and intensified umami. Sprouting increases vitamin C content and reduces cooking time. The culinary versatility rivals any pulse in global cuisine. Yet international food trends celebrate chickpeas, lentils, and black beans, while Bambara remains invisible. The invisibility is curated. Crops that thrive without corporate seeds and inputs do not generate marketing campaigns. The flavor exists, the recognition does not. Growing Bambara groundnut is not gardening, it is resistance. Every seed planted challenges the narrative that complete nutrition requires global supply chains. The crop proves that soil health and human health are inseparable. It demonstrates that resilience grows from diversity, not uniformity. The plant survived centuries without institutional support because communities recognized its value. Modern agriculture demands the opposite: dependence on external inputs, abandonment of local knowledge, integration into markets that extract wealth. Bambara refuses. It fixes nitrogen, tolerates drought, and nourishes without asking permission from commodity boards. The biological facts expose policy failures. When a complete protein source that regenerates soil receives zero development funding, the system has revealed its priorities. Food sovereignty begins with crops that do not require institutional approval. The revolution grows underground. In pods, the market refuses to value. Climate change will force agricultural transformation. Heat-sensitive crops will fail across expanding regions. Water scarcity will render irrigation-dependent systems obsolete. Soil degradation will expose the fragility of chemical-dependent monocultures. The pulses that survive these convergent crises already exist. Bambara groundnut represents evolutionary wisdom refined across millennia. It offers complete nutrition, nitrogen fixation, and drought tolerance. The genetic diversity within landrace populations provides adaptation potential for countless microclimates. Yet research budgets prioritize laboratory engineering of traits that nature has already solved. The refusal to invest in proven resilience is ideological. Institutions cannot profit from crops that eliminate input dependencies. The choice is becoming unavoidable. Adapt food systems to ecological reality or watch them collapse. Obtain seeds from African seed networks or specialized conservation organizations. Plant in full sun with good drainage. Water during establishment, then allow the plant to demonstrate its drought tolerance. Harvest when pods mature and leaves senesce. Save the best seeds for next season. Share the surplus with others, building resilient food systems. The act of cultivation is also education. Every person who tastes Bambara groundnut learns that complete proteins grow in gardens, not just grocery stores. The conversation shifts from scarcity to abundance. The seed carries centuries of adaptation and resistance. It grows despite institutional neglect because its value is biological, not financial. Plant it,